Happy Vending.
Hi and welcome to Happy Vending. I'm Bill, and today we're going to be discussing the timer mode in the vending machine and how you activate the timer mode, how you set it up, and what it's used for. I'm going to be demonstrating on a Royal Merlin IV machine, but the timing mode is very similar if you have a Royal G3 machine. And I believe it's similar in the Dixie Narcos, although I've never set it up in a Dixie Narco. Now, setting up the timer on one of these vending machines is probably one of the most complex programming operations that you'll do on a vending machine. So actually, if you have the owner's manual to the machine, it certainly wouldn't hurt to have that nearby as you do it. The timing modes that you can do on these Royal machines, first of all, you can turn on and off the lights at different times. You can do that 3 different times throughout the day. Something else is you can turn on and off the cooling system, the compressor, so that, let's say at night, if there's nobody in the building, you can have that shut off, that it doesn't turn on again until the morning. Then you can turn on and off certain selections. And that's what I use the timer mode primarily for this machine. This machine is in a school, and in a school, based on federal regulation, you're not allowed to serve drinks that have more than 50 calories per serving during the school day. So these 3 selections at the top can vend all day, all school day, but all these bottom selections have to turn off during the school day. So on this machine, you can actually turn on and off selections 3 different times throughout the day. I only have it, these turn off once during the school day, and then they turn back on once the school day is over. The final timing mode that you can do in these machines is discounted pricing. You can have discounted pricing on certain selections at certain times of the day. Like, I don't know, or certain days of the week. Let's say on a Wednesday, you want to have all drinks 50 cents. I don't have a need to use that. Like I said, basically on this machine, it's the selections and the lighting. I actually do have the lights on this turn off at night at 11 o'clock. They turn off and they don't come back on until about 6 a.m. because there's very few people in the school at night, and I just want to save the light bulbs, make them last a little longer. So let's get started on the programming. You're going to need to open up the machine to get to the control board. In this Merlin IV, the control board is in the center of the door, right down here. And to get in the programming mode, you have to press the little blue button on the control board. Once you enter programming mode, the first thing you're going to see is cache on the display. That's the first menu that you have. Now on your G3s, some of the menus you have to type in the password to get into the additional menus. On this Merlin IV, everything becomes unlocked once you press the programming button, so I'll be able to cycle through all of them. You're going to use your top button to go through your different menus. The first menu we're going to start in is our time menu. Time. That's how they write time out. In the time mode, you have to make sure that you set the clock in the machine. Set the day, the month, the year, and the time before you do any of the actual programming. Otherwise, it'll never work right for you. So to enter into this menu, we press the 3rd button. And the first thing it's showing us is year. To check if the year is set, I press the 3rd button again, and it's showing me 20. That is correct. To get out, I'm going to press and hold this. It goes back out. Now I'm going to go up to the next selection. It says date. I'm going to press in to enter that. It's showing me 10/16, which is actually not correct. It is not October 16th. It's actually, today is the 18th. So I'm going to want to adjust this. The 10 is correct, so I'm just going to press once on that. 16th is wrong, so I'm going to go up to add a couple days, and that is accurate. It is October 18th. Press in and hold to enter that, and now I'm added the date. I'm going to go up to the next one, hour. Press the 3rd button to enter. It's telling me it's 12:33. This is actually wrong. It is 1:15 right now. So I'm going to want to change this. I'm going to go up. It uses 24-hour military time, so 13 is 1 o'clock. And now I'm going to press the third button to get to the 23 or the 33, and I'm going to go back to it's 16. There we go. Press in and hold. Good, hour is set. Now I'm going to go up. Now it says set D. This is where you're going to go in to set the day of the week. It does need to know what day of the week it is, because you can have it set to do certain things on the weekend as opposed to the weekdays. Just press the third button in. It's telling me it's Friday. It is not Friday, it's actually Sunday. There's nobody in the building right now, which is why I'm not wearing a mask. So I'm going to go up to Saturday, then Sunday, and then press and hold the third button to enter that. Now let's go up and see what the next one is. Stop. This stop menu is to turn off the lithium backup battery on the control board, and you really only ever want to go in there if you're going to be putting the machine in storage for a long time and you don't want the lithium backup battery to drain down. But when you enter this menu, it really only gives you an option to turn off the battery backup. So don't go poking around in there unless you want to put the vendor in storage. Otherwise, you want that lithium battery on in case power goes out in the building, and you want that battery backup to keep all your programming in memory. I'm going to go up now, and it's saying day. This is how you're actually going to enter into all the different timing modes for the lights, the selections, the discounted, and the refrigeration. But before I go in there, let me just show you the other two menu options that are in here. DST means display the time on the display when the vending machine it's in its regular operation mode. It will cycle through things like, ice cold soda. Well, one of them, it will display the time if this is turned on. I like to have that turned on so that students see what time it is. I have a sign here on the machine. It says bottom 7 selections will only vend after 3:30 p.m. So they'll be able to see the time on the machine. It says Monday through Friday. It's always good to put a sign like this on there so the students know the machine isn't broken, that there's actually some kind of timer on it. So I set the display time as on. So let's just go in there and make sure it is turned on. Press the third button. 1 on these vending machines means it's activated. So 1 means on. If that were a 0, it would mean that's turned off. So it's set where I want it to be. I'm going to press and hold to get out of that. The other one that you have in here is DLT, daylight savings time. This puts it into an automatic daylight savings time mode. So let's make sure that's on. I'm going to press this. That's actually turned off. So I'm going to turn on our daylight savings mode. Go up to number 1 and then press in to enter that, and it goes out of it. So now let's go into the time, and let's go back up to day. This is where you're going to enter all your timing modes. So I'm going to press the third button to go into that, and it's going to say all. What this means is, do I want the timing selections that I put in here to activate on all days of the week? Since most of the days of the week the selections are limited, I usually set this up in all mode, where I set it up where everything has a limit every day of the week, and then I just go into Saturday and Sunday and reset those days for the timer to be off, and I turn off the timers then in those days. It's just a little quicker to set up that way than to set up each day individually, since most of the days, Monday through Friday, are the same setting. So I'm going to press the enter button to go into all. Now remember, I told you can do 3 different timers for your selections. So this is selection timer 1. It's not meaning selection 1, it's selection timer 1. And it's on, and it comes on at, and it's telling you 1. That is not 1 p.m. because remember, this sets up in military time. So that's actually 1 a.m. The first selection timer comes on. And this is where this really gets confusing. What does it mean when it's telling you the selection timer is coming on? That means that's when the machine will not vend on those selections. When the timer is on, it means selections are turned off. And that's what you really have to understand. That is super important to know that timer on, selections off. Timer off, selections on. And it's the same way with the lighting in here, and the same way with the discounted pricing, and the same way with the refrigeration timer. When it says it's on, it means it's off. And that's what confuses most people. So this first selection timer is coming on at 1 a.m. and it's turning off all of the selections. Any ones that I have activated as being part of the timer mode, which we'll get into later. So I'm going to accept that. Now I'm going to cycle up to the next. Now it's telling me, when does it go off? When does this timer go off? It's telling me it goes off at 14:50. Well, that is 2:50 p.m. Now, that was the end of the school day last year, but now they released the driver students this year at 2:40. So I'm going to change that from 14:50 to 14:40. To change this time, I press my third button in. It takes me to the 14, which is okay. That's 2 o'clock. I'm happy with that. So I'm going to press the third button. It's going to get to the 50. And now I'm going to go back with the second button. And I'm going to take that down to 14:40, 2:40. Press and hold in. Boom. So now that first timer for selections comes on at 1 a.m., nothing will vend, and it goes all the way to 2:40 p.m. and then it turns off, meaning now everything will vend at 2:40 p.m. There will be no timer set for that first timer mode for the selections. Now this sign does say after 3:30 p.m. Monday through Friday. This is an old sign. This will need to be updated to reflect the new time that I just set in there as 2:40. So I just set up the first selection timer the way I want. Now I'm going to press the up button and it goes into selection timer 2. And it says on, but there's no time set. I don't use selection timer 2. I'm just using the one selection timer. Don't use the second one. Go up to the off. There's no off time for selection timer 2. Go to selection timer 3. I don't use that either. Off, nothing set. Now I have DS. This is the discounted pricing. Remember I said you could have discounted pricing come on. I don't use it, so there's no time set there. Discounted pricing off, no time set there. Next is light 1. That's when the light timer comes on. It's telling you 2,300 hours. That's 11 p.m. That's when the first light timer comes on, which actually, once again, it's confusing. Comes on, you think, oh, the lights come on. No, it comes on, it turns off the lights at 11 p.m. I have that set. I'm going to go up. Light timer 1 off, 7 a.m. So these lights come on at 7 a.m. That's when most students start arriving into the building. So that's fine. Then there's a light timer 2 that I don't use. It's not set. Light timer 2 off, not set. Light timer 3. I don't use the third light timer. And then we're back into selection timer 1. There is a refrigeration timer on many machines. This machine must not have the timer in the control board for refrigeration, but some of my newer boards do have that option. I don't turn off the refrigeration on any of my machines anyhow. I always leave it on so the drinks are always cold. But your machine might have that. It's just gone back to selection timer 1. Just because I set this doesn't mean I'm done. First of all, like I told you, I wanted to do certain things on the weekend different than it does on the weekdays. And the way I just set this now, that every day it's going to do this programming every day of the week. Now I'm going to have to go back to Saturday and Sunday and reset this timing in Saturday and Sunday. So how do we do that? First, we got to get out of this. So we're going to press and hold the third button. It's going to take us back to the previous menu, which is all. And I'm going to press the down button to go back to Saturday. And now I'm going to enter into Saturday by pressing the third button. And it's telling me selection 1 timer comes on at 1 a.m. on Saturday. But I don't want this. I want nothing to happen on Saturday. So I'm going to press in the enter button and go back till it shows all lines like this. And it means no time is set for it to come on a Saturday. Straight lines. Press enter again for the minutes, and then that's set. So I'm going to press and hold, and it gets out. Now I'm going to go up to the off time, which is set to 1440. I'm just going to get rid of that too. I'm not going to have any time in there for it to come off, no time for it in there to come on. Press in. I'm going to go back until it gets to those lines. Actually, 0. Press in. I'll just go up until I get to 0. There. And now I got the lines, and I'm going to press in and hold the third button to enter that. And now there's no time set for the off, no time set for the on. Perfect. There was no timer set for timer 2, no timer set for timer 3, no discounted pricing. The light is set, and like I said, I'm going to leave the light timer on. So now I'm going to press and hold the third button to get out of the Saturday, and now I'm going to keep going up until I get to Sunday and do that same thing, because I don't want the selection timers on Sunday either. Press the third button to enter it. On time is set to 1 a.m. I'm going to press to enter this. I'm going to go back until it clears out. Press and hold the third button to enter it. And then I'm going to go up to selection 1's off time. It's set to 240. I'm going to press N. I'm going to just go up until it's at 0. Go to the minutes and go up until that gets to 0, and then it's going to be the all lines, which means it's cleared out. And then press N, third button to enter it, and now I pressed and held it. It went back to Sunday. Now I am actually done in the time mode. I don't have to worry about that anymore, but I'm not done yet, because now I have to tell the machine what specific selections do I want that timer mode to activate. And that's in another menu. And this is another thing that gets confusing about it. Press and hold this to get back to time mode. There I am. And I'm going to cycle through. It's this one here, STCL, set timer for selections. All right, that's what this menu is all about. I'm going to go back one. This one here, SDIS, that's what selections would get the discounted pricing if the discounted pricing timer was set. But I don't have that set, so I don't need to go into there. But this one here, STCL, is which selections will be applied to that timer for the selection timer. So I'm going to go into that by pressing the third button. And once again, you can do all to apply the timer to all of them, and that actually works best for me because most of these, there's 10 selections on this machine, 7 out of the 10 are getting the timer. So I usually just do it to all of them, and then I go to the 3 that don't get the timer and turn the timer off for those. So I'm going to go into all, I'm going to press the 3rd button, and 0 means it's not applying the timer settings to any of them. That means the timer setting is off for all of them. So I'm going to go up to 1 and say I want to apply the timer setting to every single selection. Press the 3rd button to enter, and that's good. I've now applied it to every one. But now I want to go up to selection 1, 2, and 3 and turn it off on those. So I'm going to press the up button, and then this is the timer on selection 1. It's set 1, meaning on, but I want it off. So I'm going to press the 3rd button to get to that blinking 1, take it down, make it a blinking 0, press in the 3rd button to set it. Great. And now I press the 3rd button and hold it to get out of that. Now it's not blinking anymore, so I can go to timer on selection 2. I want to once again turn it off. Press the 3rd button to get into the setting, take it down to 0, press and hold the 3rd button until it stops blinking, and now I'm going to go to timer, go up to timer on selection 3. It's set to 1, I want to make it 0, that's this Minute Maid, so I want that to be able to vend. Pressing it, it starts blinking, press it down to 0, press and hold the enter. I pressed and held it a little too long. It went out of that mode, but actually I set it up for all I needed to do anyhow. But I'll go back in there just to show you. I'm going to go up to selection 1, it's turned off, the water. Selection 2, the Diet Coke, it's turned off. Selection 3, the Minute Maid, it's turned off. Selection 4, the regular Coke, it is on. That will not vend during those preset times. Selection 5, it's turned on. That's the root beer. 6, the regular Mountain Dew, it's turned on. The iced tea, it's turned on. The Crush, it's turned on. The Dr. Pepper, it's turned on. And finally, that Gatorade, regular Gatorade, it's turned on. So after you're done all of your programming, you're just going to press and hold the 3rd button to get back into your vend mode. And it's going to cycle through on the display everything that you have it set to display. I have it set to display the clock and the temperature, showing 59, shows ice cold. 2 o'clock, that's the time right now. It's now 2 o'clock. And it is a Sunday, so Sunday means any selection should vend on this machine. And just to test that, if I press these and it shows the price, then I know it's going to be vending. So the water, it shows $1. All these other drinks right now I have set to 50 cents. So it's showing 50 cents, 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 50 cents. Oh, the Gatorade I have set to $1.50 and it's showing that. So it is good for a Sunday. Everything is vending the way it should. Lights are on, which they should be at this time. I'll come back on a Monday during the school day and I'll try pressing the buttons, and you'll see what it looks like when the students try to vend something during non-vend hours when the timer is on. So now it's Monday, I'm back in the school, and it's a little afternoon, it's 12:07, and in theory, the bottom 7 selections should not be vending at this time if the timer is set right. So we're going to show you what happens. First of all, the top 3, if I press them, it's giving me the price. They all can vend because they're under 50 calories. But let's try the Coke. And you see up here what it says on the display. It says, I'll do it again, no sale till 2:40, which is the time that I programmed it to start vending that. So I know it's working right. It'll also blink the sold out light, but it's not really sold out. It's just the timer. Let's try the other ones. The root beer is doing the same. Mountain Dew, the iced tea, the Crush, and the Dr. Pepper and the Gatorade are all doing that, but once again, the top 3 will vend. So that's how the timers work. The one thing I should also mention, in order to activate the timer for your lights, like this one is set up, you need to have a light relay installed in your machine. That isn't always a standard option in the machine. I had to add the light relay in all of my Royal machines. There's a little add-on kit that you order from Royal to put that in. Without the light relay, the machine, the control board can't turn on and off the lights at different times. But other than that, the selection should always be able to work in your programming if your machine has that option. Well, hopefully this helps you, and as always, happy vending.